My first name's Taryn. I'm 19 years old. I work in retail, I'm actually manager of a retail store. I love anything to do with the arts, acting, dancing, singing, modeling, and photography and film, and I have autism. I would say that autism is having visual spatial deficit and also having problems with communication. So, having friends can be kind of difficult, keeping friends, knowing how to communicate, and specifically for me, I like to describe it as the little mechanism in my brain that processes all the information is just a little bit faulty. So it works a little bit differently and takes a little bit longer. Myth about autism is that people think you should look a certain way. People think you should look like you have a learning disability or that you should look different from other people, but it's actually known as a silent deficit. So people have it and they don't even realize, or other people, teachers don't realize either. I was diagnosed with Asperger's, which is a form of autism. It's high-functioning autism, when I was 8. When I was diagnosed, I was told that I was going to see doctors to get information about how I learned because I knew I had a different learning style, and my mom did tell me that I was diagnosed with autism, but when you're 8, I feel like it kind of goes over your head, so I didn't really realize I was having any troubles until about the 5th or 6th grade when I started having problems with friends and I couldn't do PE, and that's when I started to notice and really understand what was going on. School was actually really difficult. Math was my worst subject. It still is now. I learned how to cope with it, but I really did not enjoy the learning aspect of school, especially elementary and middle school. My 2 least favorite subjects in school were math and PE, specifically because I'm horrible with numbers. I still am really bad at math now, and with the visual spatial deficit that I have, playing dodgeball and playing all those games, I couldn't tell how close or far away things were, so I was always getting injured. The thing I liked most about school was definitely recess and hanging out with my friends when I got the chance, and I loved art and I loved drama. I loved band, even though I could not read notes to save my life, but I just loved anything to do with music and acting and all that stuff. My peers didn't really help me very much in school. For the most part, I just tried to keep having autism to myself, not because I was ashamed, but just because you never know how people are going to take it, and I wasn't fully confident yet in letting people know. So teachers helped me by, we'd have signals if I was getting too overwhelmed in class. I would, scratch my nose or, I don't know, do something funny, touch my eyebrow, and then teachers, would say I could go to the bathroom, or they'd let me go do something, or they'd know that I needed a break, they'd let me go to my locker. So I was really fortunate to have teachers who were able to give me extra time and breaks and really understand what I needed. I would say an advice for teachers is come up with different techniques for teaching people. Some people are visual learners, some people just need to be shown on a piece of paper, some people just need to do it and figure it out themselves. So I would say for teachers just to come up with some ideas on their own and see what students are reacting to and what students need. And also if you see a student struggling, try to give them some one-on-one time and let them know that you're there, because that's really what I needed, was just to feel like teachers understood me and they weren't just kind of lumping me in with the class and everyone else. A challenge that I experienced was definitely in school. The full day, getting there at 8:30 and having school till 3 just really exhausted me. It was just the work, it was having to figure out how to socially interact with everyone, and I was just kind of confused about the whole thing, mostly in elementary and middle school. When I got to high school, it got a lot better because I had breaks in between periods. But definitely middle school, I remember just coming home and not wanting to do homework. So that was one thing my teachers were great about, never giving me too much homework to do at home because they knew I just wouldn't do it. Some of my strengths are that I I'm really good at coping with autism. I love to talk. I'm totally a people person, which can throw people off when I tell them that I have autism, because generally it's related to not being able to hold eye contact, not being able to be around people for long periods of time, which is where I thrive. I find that I love being around people and having those conversations. I also love what I do, and when I love something that I'm doing, I just go full force into it and I just put my passion into it, so that's something I think is one of my strengths. My plans for the future is that hopefully I want to go to a fashion merchandising school in downtown Vancouver. Something that I think is awesome about autism is that everybody's different and everybody's unique. I think that everyone that has a learning disability totally knows this, that it doesn't hold you back. It just gives you another level of dimension to who you are. And you can do things other people can't, just like everyone else, and it just makes you unique, not different in a bad way, different in a good way.